Hello and welcome back to What Steven Reads. My name is Steven and I got some books to show you today. And we're going to start with just a quick catch up. I'm still reading The Spear Cuts Through Water by Simon Jimenez, and I'm on chapter 3, which doesn't sound like what, chapter 3? No, there's 7 chapters in the book. The pages are about 100 pages per chapter, so just been taking it slow. Fantasy books is often a lot of names thrown into the stories, and I want to keep track of everything. I am enjoying it. There's this moon goddess, and she's kept under the palace against her will by the emperor, and she's basically on the run from his family, which are his sons. They called them the Three Terrors, and she's aided by the individual that was basically keeping guard over her. And now he's an ally of hers, and there's another mercenary that's joined them. And basically, so far, it's the adventure of the 3 of them. And there's cool creatures in it. There's these horse-like creatures that carry their caravan. They're not horses. They're not as fast as horses. There's talking turtles that are kind of like their telephone system or their internet, that they communicate over the vast lands to deliver news from the palace. Yeah, there's a bunch of cool fantasy type creatures in this book. I guess it was something I was looking for, and I'm enjoying it. And also, there's talking apes. They have like their own civilization in this world, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. So I am taking it slow. We're getting through. This chapter is called The Second Day, so we'll see where this takes me. But yeah, I'm liking it. But I also wanted something else to read, maybe at night before I go to bed, something a little bit more relaxing, sort of a cozy book. So I had bought a while ago the Dallergut Dream Department Store. That's a long name, by Mia Lee. And that I'm reading on Kindle, because I was getting into Kindle for a bit. So I had all these books I'd purchased, and I went through them last night, and I found this on there. Barely into it. I just got a few pages in and before I went to bed. So we'll see how that goes. Seems cute. It's basically about a dream department store where you could purchase dreams and experience them. And I have no idea, is it in the real world? Do you enter the store when you're in your dreams? I have no idea, but it sounds cute, so we're going to give that a try and see how that goes. So I am going to show you the books that I picked up past 2 weeks. I'm trying to limit how many books I buy. I don't want things to get out of hand, but there's certain things I did want and some things that did catch my eye. So the first one, which I mentioned on Sunday, was I wanted to get the new Isabela Canas book, which is called The Possession of Alba Diaz. And it's a quite lovely cover. And I have the other covers of her previous books just to show you. Again, The Woman in the Red Dress. It's Vampires of El Norte, which I really enjoyed. And her first book, which was called The Hacienda. Again, beautiful cover. Basically, The Possession of Alba Diaz. Again, she does gothic horror. And let's see, I don't want to read too much about it, but let's see. When a demonic presence awakens deep in a Mexican silver mine, the young woman it seizes must turn to the one man she shouldn't trust. Let's see, it's about a plague happens. The setting is 1765. But just the fact that it's set in a silver mine, that just sounds cool. I know the first book was in like an old house, the Hacienda, and the Vampires of El Norte took place on a cattle ranch and a couple other locations too. I like the atmosphere that she creates. It's something out of the ordinary for me. I live in a city, suburban area, so it's fun to escape. That's why we read, right? Just to experience something else. So it sounds really cool, but I am going to save this to read probably September, October, around Halloween time. And then as we get close to that, I do have some new copies of Stephen King books with classic covers, and we'll show that probably more towards October. That'll be cool. And then I did pick up, which I'd mentioned, I Know How This Ends by Holly Smale. And just to recap, if you knew how your life would turn out, what would you change? And basically, the character's name is Margot, and I think she's presented with different realities. And this kind of sounds like The Midnight Library, about different paths your life could take. But this sounds more like a romance book, and I do enjoy romance novels now, with a little bit more of a literary fiction kind of angle to it. So it sounds cool, so we'll check that out. And then I did want a romance. I just thought it was cute. So I've been looking for books about road trips, and they have been coming out. There's one about a father that leaves his family at some point, and then he makes a journey to rekindle his life with his family. There's another one where two siblings leave and go on a road trip, usually family related. I didn't pick those up because they're hardcover, and I think for that I'm just gonna wait for take it out from the library or wait for a paperback to come out. But this one's called Anywhere with You, and it's by Ellie Palmer, and the premise is Charlie Beekman says she's thriving, but yeah, they're just being sarcastic. Her finances aren't great. She doesn't like her job, and her boyfriend left her. I don't know why that's always a premise in some of these books. I guess that's just how you start off a romance novel. I don't know. And her sister is getting married to her on and off again sweetheart from childhood, and I guess she's not having it. Maybe she knows something about him, she doesn't trust him, so she sets off on a journey with one of her good male friends, and I guess that's where the romance takes place. I don't know, but it's a road trip car. I don't know if you can see they're just hanging out in the back of the minivan or SUV, whatever. So I like the picture on the cover. I think it's cute. So hopefully that's a cool read, more relaxing, you know. I did get into, what's her name? Emily something. She does those romance novels, and Abby Jimenez. So I'm actually enjoying romance, which I didn't think I would like that. And then I also picked up Malice, which is an epic fantasy. And I don't know anything about this. It's just gotten really great reviews. People talk about it. It's about 4 warriors, and they set off on this journey before the Black Sun ascends and basically destroys mankind, and they set off on their journey, I guess, to battle this. And this is book 1 of 4. I'm not going to say the cover's super cool. It's a cool sword, but it's kind of a lazy cover. I don't think it's that interesting. So, speaking of interesting covers, fantasy books, I have to show you this old book that I picked up. Let's see where it ran off to. It's an old paperback. I don't even know how old it is. It could be from like 10 years ago for all I know, but it's very yellow. Could be from the 90s, I don't know. Terry Brooks' Wizard at Large, and this is book 3, The Magic Kingdom of Landover. It was $1.49. I had to pick it up because I think the cover is absolutely cool. I don't know if they still do covers like this, but I think it's totally awesome. And I just got it to have it. I don't know if I'm going to read it. Again, it was $1.50. It was just sitting on the shelf in a thrift store. I thought that was nice. And then, let's see. I picked up this cool little mass paperback, which, by the way, mass paperback, but it was $16. I don't remember mass paperbacks being that much. Ursula K. Le Guin's A Wizard of EarthSea. It's got a wizard who talks to dragons. It reminded me of Skyrim, and if you remember, I kind of was looking for something that reminds me of Skyrim and Elder Scrolls, so I'm going to read that. Hopefully it's book 1 in a series and not book 2. I didn't see anything else in this format for if it is a series. Maybe it's a standalone. I hope it is. So that sounds cool. And then I picked up, which this is a cozy book, I mentioned it. Awesome cover. Automatic Noodle by Annalee Newitz. It's about robots that get reactivated, or they were like lying dormant, and they decide to open up a restaurant, and they're doing well, and then someone leaves a bad review on one of those stupid sites like Yelp or whatever. So with the help of their friends, they figure out who it is, and I guess it's like a little bit of a cozy mystery, but I thought that was just, I love the cover. I mean, check that out. I love nice illustration. I don't know if you can see that robot. Looks like a concept drawing for C-3PO. All right. And then I did want to show you one more book I got at the thrift store because I love this book. I love the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. It's F. Scott Fitzgerald, The Great Gatsby, $2.99. The reason I picked this up is because back in, I guess, 1992, 93, 91, I don't remember. This is what was on the cover of the copy that I have. And I do have a copy of F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby, but it's not like this. And I think this was, let's see, this actual copy was published in 2004, so it's not that old. But I like the cover, because my copy, This was a newer copy that I bought. And, you know, it's a great design cover, but it's not like a picture of anything. It's just a bunch of text and a Escher-esque kind of thing going on. Art Deco-y, yeah. So I do prefer, and I don't know if this is the original cover of the book, but this is from what I remember from when I was a kid, or teenager rather, in high school. So I got that. I'm probably going to do more of a theme next week. Maybe like some fantasy books or some romance books that I've been reading and have enjoyed. Maybe some more literary fiction. But I think I'm taking a break from literary fiction right now. It's just too emotional sometimes, and you just need a break, which is why after The Martyr, I started reading The Spear That Cuts Through Water. So a cool thing happened today. At least I think it's cool. I was in Bloomingdale's. I had to buy a gift for somebody, and I was at the cashier. And I don't even know how books... Oh, I know. I said I'm heading over to Barnes & Noble. And she's like, oh, I love Barnes & Noble. If I bring home one more book, my family, blah, blah, blah. And then she said she donates them. And then it's like, oh, said you could bring them to the library. They always have a section outside somewhere where you could bring your books because they can't take them and let people borrow them for licensing stuff. You know, if you don't know that, yeah, you could do that. You could bring your books to a library for donations for people to see it and pick it up and read it. And it was nice to talk to someone about books in person. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe if you like this video and you want to see more. I definitely appreciate that, and I do enjoy the couple of comments I'm getting. That's fun, and I'll see you next time. All right, take care. Bye-bye.